Hi Libra, welcome to your June reading. The May reading is on Patreon, but the second part isn't there, so that's why I didn't put it up. I've been going through a lot and then I lost my voice. It'll probably start to crack as I continue this reading as well, but for a while, it was for a couple of days, you couldn't really understand what I was saying. Yeah, and there's a lot that's been going on. So I thought maybe some bird sounds and some outside time and getting into what will be for you a monumental month, inshallah, that has a lot to do with Saturn retrograde, which starts on the 4th of June. I thought this would be the right environment to get this going. So the thing about Saturn retrograde for you is that it's about how you express your feelings. How does your family and how you grew up, what you grew up around, how people spoke to you, how they spoke to each other, what you saw of relationships and what a marriage can be, what a partnership can be. Those foundational aspects of your youth, where this Four of Wands was even given meaning. Everyone has a different idea of what the Four of Wands is. Now, the traditional meaning of the card is just that 4 posts create something stable on which you can hang something, on which you can make a life, on which you can, hang a garland of celebration. The reason that they're celebrating in the background looks very much like a wedding is because what's being celebrated here is the stability that comes from not 2, but 4. 4 legs, 4 arms, 2 people together. So what was that picture of togetherness that you had growing up, if you had one at all? And how does that image, how do the words spoken between those people and spoken to you still to this day color how you view relationships and what you expect out of other people in relationships? So this isn't so much a time where you're going to be talking about your feelings, but it is a time where you're very much feeling your feelings to the point where it can get frustrating. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know why I'm thinking about the past. I'm not sure what is the point of this, because oftentimes, as with Geminis themselves, during Gemini season, Libras can get a little bit confused. Like, what's the point of this? You're saying a lot, but it doesn't really amount to much. Like, is this going somewhere? And what you find throughout this month is that, yeah, this is going somewhere. For a while, it seems chaotic for no reason. But after a while, it starts to make a lot more sense. And the sense that it's making is that there are some things that are quite wonderful about the way you were brought up and about the model you have for what love is. And then there are certain things, perhaps financial, that need to be rectified or at least revised in some way. So if you come from a childhood where one person was the breadwinner and the other one was incredibly irresponsible with money, for example, or if you come from a situation where you at a very young age had to look after yourself because financially things were not going to be provided for you and there was that sense of scarcity or, being unsafe. If these are things that bubble up in you in June, especially if you're a Libra rising, then see them as an opportunity and not just this wallowing and languishing in a feeling. That's not what it's about. And of course, that feels uncomfortable to you as cardinal air. You don't want to languish in anything unless it's, a very expensive hot bath. So no, there's no point in just being in that energy and reminiscing. As I've often told you, nostalgia is a form of depression. And you don't like it. And you don't like how it lacks dynamism of any kind. It's just not a dynamic energy. It's not going anywhere. But you want to make it go somewhere. And that's what's so incredible about your energy, is that you need things to be productive. You need things to not just make sense, but to be, oftentimes helpful. You want to genuinely, you have this streak of humanity within you where you want to do good and you want to help people and you want to broaden people's horizons, but you're not doing it in a way that's off-putting the way an Aquarius can do it or even the way a Gemini can do it. On either side of you, you have these air signs that are generally misunderstood and usually have a pretty pejorative connotation associated with them, but not you. And I think the difference is that you, of course, do also wish to elevate, of course, everyone around you and everything around you, but it's not done in the spirit of condescension or lack of self-awareness. You're very self-aware. You know how to elevate without disrupting what's already going on or insulting what is already going on. So even in this situation, yes, you look at it and you realize, okay, some of the things I do emotionally, some of the things I need, some of the things that I do when it comes to money in relationships and success, do our successes match evenly? All this kind of stuff. Yeah, I see where it comes from. I see that it comes from my childhood. And instead of just feeling the mucky feelings about that, I'm going to take heed and remember that Mars, Venus, and Jupiter are in Aries. And this is a time where I can do quite a lot with these feelings because, especially now, again, if you are a Libra rising, you've got all these planets right across from you in Aries. And yes, that causes a bit of chaos and it does kick up quite some dirt. But in the long run, it gives you so much more back. I mean, first of all, take a look at how many pentacles are out. You have that 10 of Pentacles, which is just another confirmation of how delving into these feelings and being really honest with yourself about how you've picked up some of the habits you have and why you expect certain things in a relationship. This is only going to make you richer in the long term because self-awareness, that's what it does. It makes you wealthier internally and externally in terms of the spirit and in terms of the material. Knowing oneself ultimately being the highest currency that one can hold externally and internally, right? And you are very much aware of this. You're on this road. This is not something that's woo-woo to you or in any way, new agey. You are completely committed to the idea of self improvement, but more than that, an acceptance, radical acceptance of self is where you find your feelings at the moment. And this could be because you've just somehow now extricated yourself from a really long, tortuous relationship, or it could be you finally realize that the way you want to do business is very different from the way you are doing business. Like something has set you free. You've extricated yourself from something that I don't think you thought you could get out of, right? And with that comes, of course, an intelligent period of introspection, which, nobody would begrudge you that. We expect that from you. We expect you to think things through. And now that you have thought things through, you can see how anything that you thought was somebody else's fault, anything that you thought, your partner's not providing this, or a third party is getting in the way, or, maybe my own insecurities are the third party. You get there. It's through June. By mid-June, you're like, yeah, there are people trying to get in the way. Yes, the past is trying to get in the way. Yes, my model or paradigm of what it means to be in a relationship is also getting in the way. But ultimately, these are not as powerful as my choice to turn around and look at what now I can't see. And once I see it, then it becomes my choice to have exactly the kind of relationship that I want. So most of you are already going through this, and you have been going through it throughout May. And June is really the confirmation that if you trust that feeling, and if you trust the person you're with, and if you trust that you want to get better, okay, this world card just wants to go, okay, fine, then that's what will be given to you. But it's the unconscious. It's that which we do without knowing. It's those moments where our micro behaviors or micro adjustment of our behavior is mimicking what we have known since childhood as, the marks of a healthy relationship. It is time to look at all that and look at it in a really serious way so you can pick apart what you think and why you think that way. And if you start to feel icky, just rule of thumb, if you're healing, keep going. Let it be icky. If you're healing, healing is icky. Healing is gross. Pus and mucus. And, healing's gross. But you still got to go through it, bro. So if there's been any, cheating in the past or any sort of infidelity, doesn't have to be physical infidelity. For a lot of you, this is like, finding out that your partner was like texting somebody or really likes someone that they never told you about, finding out they like a completely different body type or something that makes you feel like really, really betrayed. For those of you who have that going on, it can be a very, very tense month, especially when you're the breadwinner and the other person's trying to hold on to you no matter what, because, you know, they see the monies. They see the monies and you're confused by, you know, is this person really into me, or are they just, you know, doing this because they see the monies? Yeah, it's probably a little of both. You know, let's just be realistic. So you have to decide, you know. Is this a connection that you want to save, especially if you're starting to get the feeling that it's based on more than just, you know, them liking you? It's something they need from you. Either they need the money that you're making, or they need your presence in the house, or they need you because otherwise whatever they got going on they could not handle by themselves. If you live with them, are they the type of person who could even live on their own? Probably not. Right? And I can say that with some sense of surety here, because Libras do have a tendency to get into situations with people, especially when it comes to living situations, where the other person doesn't have like a real set way of living, because Libras have a very set way of living, and you quite prefer someone who's more malleable and amenable to what you would like to do. So that's great, you know, as long as you're getting your way. But at times like this, where it's starting to feel like a burden, excuse me, or the person's starting to feel like a burden, then it can get really tricky, right? Especially if you feel responsible. You know, if you feel somewhat responsible for dragging someone into a situation that they weren't capable of handling, or that you knew that they would never quite be capable of handling, they don't have the capacity for it, you're starting to feel guilty now, because you can't keep them afloat anymore. You don't, or you could, but you don't want to. And that is a harsh realization for anyone to come to with a Libra, because you do have this streak of humanity and you are extremely nice, but people mistake that. Excuse me. People mistake that for something else. People mistake that for a sense of humanitarianism, and that's not what it is at all. It's sophistication and it's manners. But to me, a Libra is akin to a British person with excellent manners. And they can still slit your throat. Just do it real nicely. Probably say sorry before and after. Excuse me. So that's a Libra. So if there is someone that you feel quite guilty about, you know, inducting into your world, or kind of dragging feet first into something that you knew they weren't capable of handling, and now you're feeling like, you know, you don't feel like doing this anymore, and you're going to drop them because Libras don't really do anything they don't feel like doing. That's why I respect how much you help people, because I know you're not doing it for any other reason. You feel like doing it. You guys don't do anything you don't feel like doing, which I have a lot of respect for, although it can be maddening. Excuse me. As a Gemini, I get it. But in this situation, things get a little tricky, because now you don't feel like doing something, but you kind of feel responsible for the person that you dragged into this thing. But also, are you responsible for another adult? The thing is, work is calling you away. Business needs you to keep going. You can't just keep hanging on to something. It's neither here nor there, really. It's not about you as a person, or being a bad person or a good person or anything like that. It's not about them being good for you or bad for you or anything like that. You just really need to go do something else right now. And if people can't survive when your attention is turned to something else, those people suck. Those people are way too needy, and you're not going to be able to be as successful as you want to be, or that you could be, or that you should be. If you keep people around who fall apart as soon as your gaze is not on them. And also, isn't that really, really, really fucking boring? Okay, I just wanted to point that out. And business is calling you away because you have these huge dream projects coming up, and you're thinking, you know, but like, is it bad to take my focus away from something that I thought I really wanted? Or I thought I wanted it. I mean, it looked so great at the time, and now I'm thinking like, geez, it looked like this, but really it's like that. And I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. You know, you're going through all this in your head right now. I don't know. You know, but really you do know. You do know, and it's a big, once again, it's a big transformation. It's a rebirth. And it requires a lot of guts. And you got it, and you can do it. And if this means that you're taking an even bigger chance on a Scorpio, then yeah, that's what it means. But you're now having to take these chances with your eyes open. No more after June Do you get to say, yeah, but I didn't really know what was going on. I was just following my heart, or I was just doing what I, felt like doing. No, because in June you have the awareness. Gemini season is giving you the awareness. Now you can't say you don't know. If you know now that you're not going to be able to sustain whatever you're doing right now, and that the person you're doing it with won't be able to survive when you change your mind, this is the month to taper things off. Now, if you're in a work environment that you really don't want to go back to, this is the month to taper it off. If you're in a situation where you really need to get someone the fuck out of your house, this is the month to taper it off. And how do you do it? You start to pull back that humanity a little bit. You start to show them the steel, the sharp edge, not just the velvet glove, right? If you need people to give you money, they will easily lend it to you. But whoever lends you money right now, it's going to get messy later. And if you've already loaned money from someone, or it's going to get, of course they're doing this on a Monday afternoon. Because why wouldn't you mow your whole yard and redo all your gravel on a Monday afternoon during a holiday for no reason? Of course you would. Because it's Denmark. Why would anyone take the day off? What would be the point of that? And here comes a cat. Hi, baby. Hi. 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 Come. Hi. Hi. It's just me. Come. Look. It's just me. Oh. It's leaving. Bye. Sorry about that. Cat's like, what the heck are you doing out here? Cat's like, there's a really big cat out here, you guys. Really big cat in Gucci sunglasses. Is someone going to take care of this? All right, let's keep going. Your business is pulling you away. Your business is pulling you away, and now you got to take a risk. Can you sustain what you've already made and go take this other risk? Or what you've made already, is it a house of cards that only stands up if you're sitting in the center of it? Because if that's your business model right now, this is the month to change it. It's great for you to be sitting in the middle of your business model, but what are you going to do? Work till you're dead? You have to expand. You got to take a chance. And you have some dream projects and dream collabs coming up that will give you exactly the chance you're looking for. So don't fret. Luck is on your side, for sure. For sure, inshallah, it's on your side. You just need to, well, to be perfectly honest, you need to wait until Cancer season. As soon as we get to June 21st, everything starts to move financially and professionally for you. And it moves straight through for 8 days. And you're just a steam train. And after those 8 days, around the 29th, you get really argumentative. You get tired, you get crabby, and you think you know everything, right? You have such a great 8-9 day push from the 21st to the 29th that you just swear at the end of it that you're the boss of it all and you know everything, and that's when you're going to start being obnoxious, and you can really, really, really mess things up with some few choice words. Especially if you got a Libra moon, be careful. Be careful. You're in rooms, and your name is being said in rooms where you can really go far. Do not taint that image. Do not taint that reputation, especially after the 29th. No matter how much you want to curse somebody out, no matter how much you are in the right, no matter how much you think you know and they don't know anything, just let them win. Give them the win. You give them this battle and you'll win the war. Okay? And it's about compromise. You know, it's not even about letting them win. Just see it in your head as a compromise. You're not letting them win. You're just refusing to fight. And what it will say about you is so much more important than anything that you could defend yourself against, right? You'll also get a pretty good crash course in how your mentality is controlling your physicality. On the days where you're feeling like crap, you're looking like crap. So there's a huge breakthrough there. This light bulb goes off in your head like, hey, the days where I feel wanted and sexy and good, I just look so much better. What do I need to cultivate in my life to get more of that in there? And this will naturally lead you towards your physical health probably going to the doctor, probably figuring out something that's been chronic for a few years now. You know, it could be really simple. It could come down to just an iron deficiency. Like, for example, if your hair is shedding, you're just really, 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 really low on iron. You probably have like long COVID symptoms that have been kicking your ass and eating every little bit of iron you have in you. If you're blowing your nose and stuff is coming out green, that means it's eating the iron in your blood. So you could just be extremely low in iron, right? So the body lets go of anything that it feels that it doesn't have the resources to support. So really huge things that have been weighing on your mind physically that can be solved in, you know, a day, in an appointment. So don't lose hope on stuff like that. This is the month to be really hopeful about your health and go to the doctor and say, hey, you know, can you check my iron levels, or can you check my cortisol levels, and can you figure out what's going on? And for the most part, inshallah, Libras get their health taken care of. So if there is anyone around who you have said way too much to, if there is someone that you have told your secrets to, this can be a really scary time because they can want to spill all your secrets. And you're also realizing that most of the stuff they're saying has a really mean tinge. And were they always this mean? And why did you have these many mean people around you? And also, do you have this in you? Can you also be mean? Because this is one of those months where you see it in yourself and you're like, ew, something shows it to you and you're just like, ew, I can be really fucking mean. I hate this. I don't want to be this way. And there's no excuse for it. Like, you don't put it in context. You're not like, yeah, I was mean, but also this and that. You're just like, ew, I don't want to be like this anymore. I'm too good for this. You judging you is the most effective, Libra, because no one makes you change. Like I said, you don't do anything you don't want to do. And I respect it. Cardinal air. Who the fuck knows to tell you what to do? You're the one who knows. So I get it. But when you can't make excuses for yourself, when you're the one who's like, no, there's no excuse for the way I've behaved, or there's no excuse for what I've said, or there's no excuse for what I've done, then true change is possible with you guys. And that's where you are. You know, Gemini season has a way of showing you things in its bare bones. And you listen, you know, because you know there's no guff, there's no fluff, there's no bullshit, it's just straight to the point. You know, of course, you would very much like it if we would wash our swords between kills, you know, because it can get a little grimy the way we'd be cutting people up. But nonetheless, you appreciate the truth of it all. And that's why this season is so incredibly good for you. And it helps you evolve by leaps and bounds because the truth is there and you are a person of truth. You can't deny the truth when you see it. And it saves you over and over and over again. This unwillingness to compromise when it comes to karma and justice and what's right and what's wrong. Right? So when you turn that eye on yourself, you're able to do really incredible things because that is what most people lack. That is what keeps people the same. That is what gets people, you know, turns people old. That is what turns people tired. That is what turns people into a relic of the past, is this inability to constantly self-audit excuse me, and see your own faults and see your own, you know, your good points, your high points, and your low points. It is this ability to be so balanced and be able to see on both sides of the scale and weigh things out properly that keeps you young, it keeps you current, and without trying. It's just how you are. You're constantly updating the internal and the external. And this is such a great month for that because you have all the information at your fingertips that you could possibly want for that evolution and for the culling that is necessary for that evolution to happen. You're not making any excuses. You're not making excuses for your own cruelty if you sense it anywhere within yourself, and you're not. And the great thing about that is you're probably not very cruel. I mean, everyone has certain modicum of cruelty to them, but you're probably not that cruel. But what you're noticing, and this is much more important, is that you don't want to tolerate it in yourself. And as soon as you refuse to tolerate it within your own self, you refuse to tolerate it from the people around you. And then, Libra, you start to see how many people around you actually do operate from a place of great cruelty. And that is jarring. And that is how you close off June. Midway through Cancer season, you're just like, fuck this. What the hell? Why am I surrounded by people who are vicious? Why am I surrounded by people who are mean? Like, yeah, I can be mean, but not like this. This is crazy. This is like too much to bear. I can't hang with this. I'm too good of a person for this. I'm too nice for this. I genuinely want to help people. I don't like this. And it may seem like such a simple thing, you know, but it's not. Because you're the type. You're the type that if someone pushes a door open of understanding for you, you can't go back through the other way again. No, that door's open now in your mind. You learned something. You can't go back from learning something. So as soon as you figure this out and you realize that you do not want to tolerate an ounce, a shred of cruelty in your life from anyone, including yourself, starting with yourself, everything will change. And everything does change, inshallah, and everything just gets better and better. Just remember, this is the month. If you're not feeling it, get rid of it. If you wait, if you don't do it now, you know Cancer season's not going to let you let go of anything. And then it's going to be Leo season, and then it'll be about your pride, and then it'll be Virgo season, and then it'll be about hiding all your sins because they're perfect and nobody does anything right. So you're not going to be able to do it then, and then you'll have to do it in your season during your birthday, and that's going to suck, right? And if you don't, then you'll have to do it in Scorpio season where everyone's going to be fucking mean and awful about it. So, like, how long are you willing to wait? Realistically, you're going to have to wait again until you come around to, like, Sag season or something where it'll be easy to let someone go again. So this is your chance. If you're really not feeling it and you're tired of racking up karma for it, or you're going to get blamed real bad when things fall apart because you're the one in control here. If you're really not feeling it and you want to get out of the driver's seat and Jason Bourne this shit, jump out now. Because it's going to be a long, last exit before, last exit before the toll, this is it. This is it. All right. I love you. Love you. I was going to do a part 2 here, but it's looking like we don't need to do a part 2. We can just look at it together here. So it's all in one part, and then we'll get into the extended in just a second. So if we're looking card by card here, that 4 of Wands and that 6 of Swords, there are things in your home life that you really want to move past. There are things in that paradigm that just don't make sense to you anymore. It's not about judging anyone. It's not about being angry with anyone. It's not about, calling up your mom or your dad and being like, you did this to me. It's just, this really doesn't work for me. And it causes a lot of havoc in my life. And I don't want these associations when it comes to relationships. So I've got to do the work and get rid of them because no one is holding me to this anymore. 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. There's a lot of focus on money and the money that you're earning, whether it's from the external or, within the house, within the home, within the relationship. There's a lot of attention being put on it, and to the point where it's kind of uncomfortable. Like, you're kind of looking around and going, yeah, I'm the 9 of Pentacles and I did this on my own, but I don't understand why we need to pay attention to this so much. If you can't do this for yourself, why does what I'm doing have to come so glaringly into relief? I don't like this. The preponderance of planets in Aries is, of course, going to make this all much more fiery. It's going to make other people really want to get in your business. It's going to make you really irritated when they want to get in your business. You would much rather hide what you have going on and show people the bare minimum because you are, you're stacking paper. And in today's economy and everything that's going on, it's not probably the wisest thing to advertise it. So it's even more uncomfortable. People around you keep focusing on it because it's like, can you get a life, or can you at least leave me alone? Because this is really uncomfortable. I'm the one making the money. You're the one who keeps talking about it. It's weird, right? But it's hard not to talk about it when things keep going in your favor. So in a way, you can also understand, because there's the World card, right? Stability in money, stability in emotions. And here comes the World card. Boon after boon after boon. Your economic life takes off, especially after the 13th when Mercury enters Gemini again. So that's when you're going to have to make some choices and let go of some smaller deals to make room for some bigger deals. Let go of some smaller relationships or connections to make room for something much, much bigger. Don't confuse the issue. When you start confusing your emotions with money, you're going to get really confused. Keep your emotions out of your financial life, no matter how difficult of a decision this ends up being. If you make a financial decision based on your feelings, no matter what your feelings are, it's the wrong decision. I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you, because you are really tapped into your feelings right now and you're going to want to mesh these worlds. Please don't. You're an excellent business person and you're an excellent human being, but these two things do not have to meet and intertwine the way you're trying to make them intertwine. You know why? Because it's not good fucking business. It's not good business. You know it. I know it. Don't do it. Be moral, of course, but don't make money moves based on your feelings. Please don't. You're too smart for this. You're too savvy for this. It doesn't matter how much someone has you wrapped up in your feels right now, or over what or why, or their insecurity or their ineptitude, whatever is going on. Do not make a financial decision based on that. Do not. You will screw yourself. Don't do it. Keep your emotions out of it. Keep your head screwed on straight. Do what you got to do that makes financial sense, and you can deal with your emotions later. Okay? That's the way you protect yourself, instead of putting everyone before yourself. And then when you need it, everyone thinks you just got it. Right? No, We're taking care of ourselves first. We're putting ourselves first. That's what Gemini season is about, and that's exactly what you're going to do because that's what's best for you. And everyone else can wait in line, and they can wait their turn, and you will get to them, and you will be helpful, and you will bestow your knowledge on them and your good luck and your intelligence. And until then, they can wait. And if you doing well in your financial life and you thriving and you getting new deals and new this and new that makes them uncomfortable, insecure, they want to talk about it, they want to make it an issue, they want to gaslight you, they want to make you feel guilty, they're not the person for you. Because I'm sorry to tell you and them, this isn't going to stop this upward spiral. You guys are going up, 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 up. If they can't handle the altitude already, I don't know what they're going to do later. What are they going to do when it's more than a couple of Ace of Pentacles? Then what? And are they doing anything in their own lives to also spiral up in the same way? Or are they just watching from the cheap seats, watching you do all the work? Because how attractive is that going to be in the long run too? Whether it's your friendships or your romantic relationship, it doesn't matter. In your friendships, even more. If your friends are just like where they are and they don't want anything more from them, like it's just boring as shit, right? You want dynamism. You want everything around you to be dynamic and moving and evolving and getting better because that's the space you're in, that's the zone you're in. And anything that doesn't go along with that, it's just kind of sucks and it's boring and you don't have time for it. And good for you. I am fully in support. I love you, love you. We'll get into the extended right now.